battery's dead.
He helps invent clean, unlimited energy. And that same night, his mentor is murdered. Someone blows up 8 city blocks, and he gets framed as the terrorist. And the worst part is, Eddie isn't a spy. He isn't a soldier. He's a student machinist, good with tools, good with numbers, a genius-level individual, suddenly hunted by every badge in America. What Eddie accidentally discovered isn't just scientific, it's political. And powerful people don't negotiate with the future. The dream is simple: creating clean hydrogen energy from water. The University of Chicago builds a cutting-edge lab led by idealistic scientist Dr. Alistair Barkley. His team is small: physicist Dr. Lily Sinclair, project manager Dr. Lou Chen, and Eddie Kasalovich, a brilliant machinist student who can build almost anything. For months, they grind through failure after failure. The math is cruel. The reaction won't stabilize, but Barkley keeps pushing them. Each failure teaches them how to get closer. One night, Eddie is working at home and stumbles on the missing key. It's about a specific sound frequency that stabilizes the reaction. He double-checks it, hands shaking, then calls it in. The next day, they run the experiment with Eddie's frequency. And it works. Clean hydrogen production, stable output, more energy out than in. It's the kind of result that rewrites textbooks, the kind of breakthrough only a genius could pull off. While they are celebrating, Paul Shannon, head of the funding foundation, doesn't look relieved. He looks worried, like this breakthrough just lit a fuse. After the party, Eddie walks Lily home because her car battery dies. It's small, human, harmless. Meanwhile, a mysterious van pulls up to the lab. Inside, Barkley and Chen stay late, talking about putting the information online, waking up the world. Then Chen hears something. He goes to check and never comes back. Eddie returns to grab his motorcycle and finds the alarm screaming. He runs inside, calling their names, and finds Barkley dead on the floor, a plastic bag over his head. Before Eddie can even process the murder, the machine they just perfected starts going unstable, like someone sabotaged the safety systems. Eddie can't shut it down. He can't stabilize it. The lab explodes, an annihilating blast that wipes out the building and surrounding blocks. Eddie survives by seconds, staring at the crater as if his life just got erased. The next morning, the FBI is everywhere. 8 blocks gone just like that. The president is demanding answers, and with Barkley dead and Chen missing, the Bureau looks for the easiest explanation. They question the team, especially Eddie. He was the last one in the lab. He came back alone. And when Lily receives a fax, supposedly from Chen, demanding she bring the rest of the research to Shanghai, she instantly knows it's fake. She tells Eddie the truth. Someone is framing them. Someone who knows them. Someone who understands their habits, their language, their vulnerabilities. The FBI raids Eddie's apartment and finds 2 things that destroy him in one stroke: a burst satellite transmitter and a bag of cash. To the Bureau, it looks like Eddie's been paid, and he's been communicating with someone. Eddie can't explain it because he didn't put it there. Now their faces are all over the news. Wanted material witnesses. Eddie and Lily realize it's not about interviewing them. It's trying to catch them before they can speak. Eddie bolts through Chicago with police, FBI, helicopters, everything closing in. And when he reaches a raised drawbridge, he does the one thing no guilty man would do. He climbs into the machinery, times the bridge controls, and slips right under the agents' noses, escaping through the guts of the city like a man who builds machines for a living. He reunites with Lily at the station, and they flee by train to Wisconsin, where Lily's wild, brilliant friend Maggie runs an observatory in the middle of nowhere. Maggie believes them immediately, because Eddie doesn't have the look of a killer. He has the look of a kid who just got drafted into a war he doesn't understand. Meanwhile, in Washington, Paul Shannon talks to senators and calmly frames the tragedy as the price of progress. He sounds like a patriot, but the more he talks, the more it feels like he's protecting something. Eddie calls Shannon from a payphone. Shannon tells him to wait. Help is coming, but that call is traced. Within an hour, police surround Maggie's observatory. Eddie and Lily surrender, hands up, thinking it's finally over, until a helicopter arrives and the man inside shoots the trooper dead. And that's the moment Eddie understands the real nightmare. There are two hunts happening, one by law enforcement and one by people pretending to be law enforcement. They escape by stealing a rescue boat, then hide in an empty house. Eddie warms Lily up, cooks whatever he can find, and for the first time, they breathe, until Eddie spots a flashlight outside. Two men break in with a syringe, ordered to inject them and make it look like an accident. They fight them off and find the only clue they need: connections to Leesburg, Virginia, and a facility called C Systems. Lily sends Shannon a coded message through a flower delivery, forcing him into a public meeting at the Science Museum, because public is the only shield they have left. Shannon shows up and acts like a friend, but he won't answer the one question that matters. Who is he really? He says the world is complicated, that Eddie has a job to complete. Then Shannon walks away, right as gunmen swarm. Eddie and Lily run through exhibits like prey in a glass maze, but Lily gets captured, sedated, and taken. Eddie can't do anything to stop it. He memorizes the car's plate because survival now means collecting tiny pieces of truth faster than they can erase them. Lily wakes up inside C Systems and finds Lu Chen alive. They're being forced to recreate the experiment under threat, while executives watch like gamblers at a table. Eddie sneaks into the facility disguised as staff. He finds the lab and realizes the people running this operation have money, weapons, and government-level secrecy. They run the experiment, and it fails. The reaction won't hold without the precise frequency Eddie discovered. The facility thinks they can bully physics. Eddie knows physics doesn't care about threats. That night, Eddie sneaks into the lab and fixes the configuration, proving the system can work, but also proving something darker. The real fight isn't science, it's control. Eddie confronts Shannon in his office. Shannon admits the unthinkable. Barclay's death was a mistake. The framing was convenience and expedience. Shannon says releasing free energy to the world overnight would crash markets, collapse economies, and, very likely, trigger war. So his plan is to release it slowly, at a pace the world can absorb. But Shannon isn't the worst man in the room. Lyman Collier, the gun-backed executive, makes the real rule clear: Eddie's freedom is non-negotiable. So Eddie does the only thing left. He dumps the facility's data to the FBI, budgets, experiments, secrets, and remotely disrupts the system, forcing the truth into daylight. Instantly, the controlled experiment becomes chaos. The reaction goes self-sustaining. Pressure climbs. The facility has minutes before it detonates like the Chicago lab. Lyman snaps and shoots Chen in cold blood, then uses Lily as a hostage. It's pure impulse, violence as management. Eddie warns them, if they shut the system down the wrong way, hydrogen containment will fail. Lyman does it anyway. The computers crash, doors seal, air turns toxic. As everyone evacuates, Shannon finally accepts what Eddie already knows. Lyman is a liability. In an elevator, Shannon shoots him and turns off containment systems, unlocking the facility. Eddie and Lily fight their way through guards and collapsing plans. They reach the outside as the entire complex begins to fail, the same chain reaction repeating on a larger scale. They barely make it out before the facility explodes. The staff cheers, relief, disbelief, because they've survived a disaster that should have erased everyone inside.